What's up, Vince Doc family? What's up, Dolphin Nation? How you doing today? Today we're gonna go ahead and cover day 3 of training camp, which was this past Friday. I apologize for the delay, guys, but it is what it is. I'll always keep you posted on it. To start day 3, we're gonna go ahead and listen to Mike McDaniel's press conference. Then I'll pop up who is the orange jersey of the day this past Friday. And then we will listen to pressers from Kendall Sheffield, Jalen Phillips, and Jonas Abayaniya. Which it seems like the Dolphins want to play Jonah at guard instead of tackle. But we'll go from there. Let me go ahead and start with the Mike McDaniel press conference, and then I'll give you my thoughts after the press conference.
False. Great morning. Let's go.
What makes this point great?
Because we're another day closer to death. You're welcome. That's. I mean, it's a reality. It's a reality. Wouldn't you like to take that in mind when you're, considering what you're going to do today, or maybe if today is a good day or not?
Sure. The most important thing.
You're welcome.
Prior to starting, any update you can give us on Mathos? It was good to hear that there was movement in extremities. How's he doing?
Well, that was the time it took, as he, he left the field, and that's a tough moment for any team. We were really pumped to hear that he is feeling and movement in all extremities, and he's doing better and better, which is what we're focused on.
And then those guys, you got Brewer as well. What's caused him to not practice, and do you expect him back by late preseason, regular season?
Well, he's not on PUP, and we did that, so he can participate with Tua daily with some snaps and stuff. But it's a lower extremity, slight soft tissue, not overly concerned. You should see him sooner than later. Fact.
Tua said that Tyreek and the team are still working on their relationship the other day, following Reek's comments at the end of last season. When you have a situation like that, how do you as a coach kind of handle it? Are you hands off? Do you let the guys handle it, or are you trying to sit both parties down and have them come together?
No, I think what what guys have discussed even in the media, so in any relationship, trust is built through transparency, and I think it's super important in situations to just open the air. A lot of conversations are had, and I think what you're seeing is direct communication that's real, not fake. And so, I think I don't think anyone was surprised by reading anybody's within the team. Like, these are open conversations that we're working towards. And the thing is if you have the right intent, and you have an opportunity every day to define yourself. Work. That's a proactive thing. That is a positive to me, because what happens on the opposite side of individuals working towards a relationship. Well, there's the bond, and that's like all things, that's how you heal all those things. So I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the transparency. I think that's how men can better themselves and become a better version of themselves, which pretty much everybody wants.
Yesterday you stepped into practice and stopped it a couple of times. And I was just wondering about your process with how to do that. How do you determine when's a good time to interject into practice versus letting things kind of play out?
Yeah, it's when you're observing it from the side, just do the inverse of what common sense would tell you. Because, like, for me, if things aren't going the way that I necessarily want them, that's a perfect game rep, because you don't get to call timeout and quiet the crowd to make a point. Generally, when things are frustrating me, I'm walking around and letting everyone know exactly how things need to adjust and try to work through it with the players on the field. If I'm stopping practice, I'm making a point within the structure of the practice. Maybe I'm emphasizing something that we're working on that day. Could be emphasizing finishing something that we said we're going to start. Just points for guys to be focused on, because, again, I think the big thing that we're all trying to do is every day focus on actually what matters, and solely that. So when you're stopping, for me, when I'm stopping practice, I'm trying to test the guy's focus, ask for something, and see how they respond to that.
Mike, at what point will you know that you need to go outside the roster for a cornerback?
I think that defeats the nature of really our whole process, we are coaching, developing, evaluating, and always trying to get the team better. So you are assessing your group, how an addition alters the entire group, and if we're better, not just the corners, not just like the entire team, and how it affects it. And that's a daily process really with everything. So typically there's a lot of directions you can go. If you have a injury or you're worried about a position, and that timeline, you let the players decide a little bit to a degree as well, because what type of day is Kader Koku going to have today? He's going to tell me, same as the rest of the group, right? So I think you have to really fight the urge to predict the future and see what you're working with and knowing exactly what's out there, and that it literally could be any day, 2 weeks, yesterday. Technically couldn't, but you get the drift.
Could you theoretically put somebody out there for the opener and think he's going to develop, and by game 4, game 6, game 8, he's going to be where he needs to be as a first team?
You think I could go in front of the team and say, hey, we got this guy that we're developing? Are we developing your career? Everyone else? You got to be able to roll. That's why every practice is so important. A day of practice is an enormous amount of time. Like we have gotten so much work out of 2 days of practice, and the conversation changes every day. With what's awesome is players have the control over what that is by their effort and execution on a daily basis.
What do you like about Cornell Armstrong, a corner who you did just sign?
I like, have experience going against him, familiar with him, and then just with interpersonal connections. Really like where this guy's mind's at, where his talent's at. I think he has a chip on his shoulder, and I like the way he goes about his business. I'm excited to add him to the group.
What goes into the post practice sprints that we've noticed?
That's it's a way for players to re-emphasize the importance of doing the little things the right way, and it's something that when you're looking at ways to improve your team, like right at the beginning of the controllables are the yards lost and you didn't do a play, pre-snap penalties, those type of things. So the nucleus of the locker room, the leaders of the locker room, they were put in charge of being the police after practice for all the things that the officials noted that were illegal.
Are there any other, new things that the leaders in the locker room kind of implemented going along with what you're saying?
I couldn't list. I couldn't. I mean, yeah. There's each and every year you're looking yourself in the mirror. Every year that I have experience with certain guys in the locker room, in the core of our locker room, we I learn them and how to best impact them. So there's a lot. There's I couldn't list how many things we've changed, but I think that's kind of the way I hold myself and the rest of the coaching staff and the organization responsible, is that you are not just doing something to do it, or because you did it before, ever. That's not good enough. So we're always assessing everything. There's a good amount of change that has changed. There's a good amount that stayed the same. You're evolving to people, and when the people buy in, you're heading in the right direction.
What did you learn about the offensive line during that stretch without Austin Jackson?
I kind of what I already knew. He's really good. I think I learned, I think Austin's quiet. He really, really speaks with how he works. And I didn't maybe have a different appreciation for how much he rubs off on his teammates, how much his fearless attack at his craft, and his mental toughness to really put everything into something, and then it not work sometimes, and that not set you back, which is a problem for most people. So learned a lot about him, and I think I have a better appreciation of how he rubs off on his teammates.
You heard about Teddy Bridgewater's coaching suspension. Do you have any thoughts on both the suspension and also just his continued generosity in the broader Miami community?
I haven't. I have a great relationship with Teddy, and I just have so much admiration for the things that he's done. But I haven't heard about that, so super inappropriate for me to talk about that.
Where's Cam Smith at? He essentially got challenged by Chris Greer, I think this offseason, saying that you guys need him to step up and can't hold his hand anymore. How have you seen him enter camp and perform these past 2 days?
The first question was much easier. He's downstairs. No, the idea where Cam needs to be is really progressing in the dark. There's nothing. He is every day chopping wood and chasing technique fundamentals and being one with his teammates. And that, for a talented young player, it's boring, but that is the formula. So, like 2 practices in, sweet. And he knows that. I care about the 3rd practice today. And then we keep stacking those. But I like where he's at today. What does that mean moving forward? We shall see. But so far, so great. How much did you practice that?
Explain it to us that it's Savai'i, like Hawaii, so it's an easy way to.
Was this in the mirror situation? Okay.
How has he looked on the field?
Well, first and foremost, it's interesting with young players, but you can get so much information by their veteran teammates. And quite literally, I don't ask them, hey, because guys are nice guys, and they're gonna, I'm the head coach, they'll say something. But you watch how the veterans interact with a rookie player. Got a lot to learn. Love his approach, but you can tell the veterans believe in him, and so he's doing a great job, fired up, because you have to earn that in a real way, veteran trust, and especially as a young guy where you're probably gonna have errors here or there. So when veterans can see that he's made of the right stuff, that's the best news I could get.
Same question on Kenneth Grant, which is much easier to pronounce.
It is. Hopefully he didn't do as many reps. He's been awesome. I think the way his emotional intelligence on this football team has been phenomenal. Knowing that on a football team that's hungry, that is not that is trying to diligently work like a pro as a first-round draft pick, the team wants to see a guy that knows he's a rookie, that knows that we need a lot from him, and is willing to do whatever to be his very best. And that's what I see from Kenneth Grant. And is one of the reasons we were so high on him, is because this is professional football. We needed his skill set to contribute, and we couldn't hold our breath if we we're going to get a guy that can be a force on our defense. So I think he's working relentlessly, and I like where he's at right now, and I want to see his game continue. I know the rest of the team does as well.
What's the skill that you and Chris and the scouting staff liked about Taj Washington when you drafted him a year ago, and has he regained those skills after the injury?
Well, Taj was always, we were really excited to get the opportunity to draft him because of he's a very, very good collegiate football player. But the biggest thing to me is if you are talented in movement and you're fast and you're not a giant guy, you have to be football fearless. And football fearless guys that are willing to, play on the outside but make a tough catch on the inside. He is tougher than he is big and all, and that is the biggest compliment I could pay to him, because that's the commonality with guys of traits that are quick, fast, and in this league. That's kind of like the cutoff is, all right, you don't have the toughness to get hit going across the middle, and it's hard to play. So really like that about him, and I like how he's really had a long journey where he just got a taste of stuff and then had a season ender. So you can tell by the way he attacks the field that although it's an unfortunate piece of adversity to have the injury, he definitely used it as an opportunity to have perspective and attack, trying to make the squad and have a role on this team with full force and vigor.
Any guys you can note that have stood out due to their energy on the practice field or how vocal they are out there?
Yeah, I've seen a ton of guys with energy that the best way I could describe it is towards the football team. So, I think leaders, particularly the competitors that we have, like Tua and JB, I think out of new guys, Willie Gay has really provided a spark plug for us. Nick has as well, but ultimately I feel the energy is more focused on good football. So it's not celebrating the result of a play. It's celebrating how people are attacking their jobs and how they're utilizing their technique. And when a play is made from that, people are getting juiced. So overall, whether it's individuals, whether it's the addition of the new guys, I think it's all kind of a combination of all of those things. But I'm seeing an energy that's more, it's less about offense versus defense, and it's more about the Dolphins having the most competitive practice where you better be on your stuff or the opposite side is about to smoke you.
Right? You talked about patience being one of the biggest areas of growth for him from year 1 to year 2. Just curious if you've seen that same patience out on the field.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times if you fixate on the desired result, you end up not giving the best version of yourself in your moment, because in the times that you're not getting the opportunity, if you're thinking about not getting the opportunity, you're probably not going to be prepared for your opportunity. So what you have to do is focus on the correct things, which are the things that you can control, and make sure your game is right for your op. So while I see him every day, we have a lot of talented players on the field, we have to distribute it amongst all the people in the running back room and all the eligibles. But when you are focused on your technique and fundamentals and your intensity and whatever that very, very focused piece of information is, then your opportunity comes and you're more in a flow state-ish. So that's what I see from him, is that he's making more plays because he is focused on the right things.
What are your early impressions of Minkah Fitzpatrick?
You get super pumped when you're like, yes, that's what I was hoping for. That's my initial impressions. Why? Because I see a quiet guy that I engage with, a mild-mannered. He's cool, but he's kind of mid energy in a building. And then watch him put on a uniform and step on the grass, and you see a different energy and command. Just, you can tell that's his sacred place. On the football field, there's a couple plays yesterday that within the defensive system, he was able to utilize some of this football FBI and really disrupt a couple pass plays in particular that to you guys were just a random incompletion, but he was taking away where we're trying to go. So, and then I see a guy that doesn't underestimate the importance of earning his relationships within the team, like understanding that you need to get to know people before you can affect them or influence them or help them. So I see him really leaning into a lot of relationship building within the team, which tells me what I already knew, that he somewhere sees himself as a leader of this team that wants to earn it the right way, and that's how you do it.
What was your reaction to seeing Ari go down, and what had to be a tough moment so early in his Dolphins tenure?
Yeah, it's hard that when you see someone go down. For me, the journey hits me square in the eyes. For him, yeah, it was. Those are true tests for me as a coach, just like it is for the team, because your heart goes out, and then you have a lot of time. With the teammates that we have here, there's an obligation to even the guy that just got hurt. He got hurt trying to be a part of something he believes in, so we have to push that forward. It's very, very difficult, and I know a lot of teammates have reached out, and just he's a very tough-minded person that has been through stuff before. So I'm confident that he'll get through this, and it's just going to take time.
Mike, what's the process like as a coach to get into training camp and kind of transition from the team that maybe you think you had or you aspired to try to construct throughout the offseason to the team that they tell you that they are throughout this process in the preseason?
That's a really cool question to me, because I think that, from an integrity standpoint, I think it's super important that I don't that I coach the team for what they need to be coached on. So they have to tell me who they are, and so I can reach them and push them in the right ways. And I think the biggest I don't know, it's a very quick test, but you're adjusting on the fly very fast, is after your summer break. Because technically, you don't know if anyone's done everything or nothing. You don't know where their bodies are at. So you find that out live speed, and then you feel the energy of the team, and you can kind of set your direction for that team. What I found out with this team from coming back this summer is it's the most in shape they've been. They were ready to practice. So now I can go. I don't need to focus on how important these practices are. I need to focus on what's important within them. Okay, they already know it's that important. They've shown me by being in the best shape that they've been in before. So that it's always an adjustment. I think that's it's not about doing the perfect thing. It's about having the right intent and shooting your shot. And I think,
Guys, I'm going to stop it at 19-12. Even though they asked Mike another question, they asked him about several players, and they pressed him about the cornerback issue again. I thought he basically gave a lot of coach speak answers, except for a few questions about Tua, the Hill situation, the Taj Washington he spoke highly of, but he gave a lot of coach speak answers. That's my opinion on that, and we will go ahead and go forward. Before we go with the Devon Achane presser, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to guess who was the orange jersey of the day on day 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and pop up the picture. It was Cater Kohu. Now let's go with the Devon Achane presser.
What's the next evolution of Devon Achane? We had a record-setting rookie year, displayed the pass-catching chops last year. What's the next step in your evolution?
Basically just, keep going forward. Try not to take no steps back, and just try to progress every which way possible.
Can you describe your relationship with Jaylen? I know he's been saying that he has the ability to be the top back in the league right now. Can you talk about the competitiveness there in your relationship?
We got a great relationship. Like you said, man, like he is a great back. Like you said, I believe that's in us 100%. Like you said, it's great to have competition in the room. And like you said, when we at practice, we're going to put each other to work. Like when he on the field, I tell him if I seen something, I want to feel the same way. So, it's great when you have, two competitive backs like that in one room.
What would you say is the biggest difference in the room without Raheem there?
More of, us having to be a leader, just because, this is his second year, this is my third year, we ain't got no, year 8, year 9, year 10 dude in there. So just that, really.
Devon, Mike mentioned earlier today that the team as a whole seems more in shape this year. Is that kind of obvious among you guys in the locker room, or what are some differences that you're noticing?
Almost definitely. We want to make sure that, when we leave and come back, that, if you wasn't in shape, you feel your team, man. We knew this year coming up, got to be a different year for us, so we make sure that, we came back and everybody's 100%.
Was that something that you guys noticed that maybe in past years was an issue, or why note now that you guys aren't?
I just feel like, just the energy is different, so I feel like it's probably why people think that, but like you said, man, everybody know it get hot out here, and, if you want to be in the best shape possible, you got to train.
Can you take us through your off-season work, getting stronger?
Like I said, man, it's hot out here, so you're going to lose weight regardless, but I spend most of my workouts in Houston, get hot out there as well. So when I come here, it don't be too bad. I kind of used to it. So.
What's your motivation?
Now, probably just coming from last season, just want to win, man. Like I said, last year was the best season for us. So this year, I'm trying to bring something different to the table, make sure I can impact the team any ways possible.
Coming into camp this week, what are some of the things that you really want to gain on and do better this season?
Like I said last year, I kind of left some plays on the field. So this year, just focus on little details and, just being, more valuable to the team and as far as like running back and receiver, just, being very available and being able to, carry the ball from, two positions.
What are ways you can continue to work on vision as you progress year in, year out in the league and just finding goals as you progress?
Like you said, it's all about practice, man. Like you said, I've been doing a great job, like the line, they've been doing great. So, just working with them, man, and, talking to them, seeing what they see and knowing, like, who they got to go up to, it really helps a lot.
What do you think of the additions at guard that the team has made in James Daniels and rookie John?
I like him, man. Like you said, me and Junior, we locker buddies. So, me and him always talk after practice, It's, telling me what he see or, if he felt like he did something wrong, he let me know. And I tell him, man, it's one play. But as far as I'm concerned, man, he looked like a vet out there, so.
What do you think of the added physicality there is in the running back room between Alexander Madison and Oliver?
It's good. Like you said, you can't never have too many good running backs in the room. So, like you say, everybody got their different skill set, and it's always good to have different skill sets in the room.
What does that do for you as far as the compliments?
Do a lot, like you said. So when whoever's on the field, you can't just be like, okay, they doing this or he doing it.
They asked Devon about what's the difference without having Raheem, and he said he would have to step up as a leader. What he would do to basically help Jonah And he said if Jonah makes a mistake, he'll go to him and talk to him, and he'll tell him it just won't play. And if Jaylen and him are very competitive, and he said yes, and that's the way it should be. And he's just trying to build up his stamina and his strength and work out during the sun just to build that up and trying to stay healthy and become a leader since he's going through he's already considered a veteran on the team. All right, guys. Now, we're going to go and listen to the Kendall Sheffield presser.
This opportunity that you have in front of you to be a starter. I know you had some injury issues early in your career, right? Tell me about this opportunity. What do you think about it, and what can you do out here?
I mean, no, it's a great opportunity. Just like any other place.
Is that they asked him is, Kendall, what do you think about this opportunity of maybe becoming a starter? And he's going to answer that now.
I'm in work, do what I got to do. As far as, like you said, opportunity, like I said, I'm just coming here to work. And whatever the cards fold, that's what I'm going to do.
Is this your best chance to be a starter in your career, or have you had others? I mean, you've had some years in the league now. What do you think from that standpoint?
I mean, each year is a time to compete and work for a starting job. So, like I said, I'm going to come in and work, do what I got to do, and the cards going to fold how they fold.
You started a lot, obviously, the first 2 years in the league. Have you felt like you just haven't been in the right opportunity to get that chance again? What's led to now the long gap between NFL starts from, ongoing?
A lot of injuries. Best ability is availability. So I had a lot of injuries. That would be the biggest thing.
What skill do you think you bring, or skills do you think you bring to the table if you did a scouting report of yourself?
Speed, knowledge, accountability. Just somebody who's going to come in and work and do what they got to do.
You're one of the older guys in the room. How much do you think lean on your knowledge or understanding? And Mike talked about why you're in the role that you're in, because you've seen a lot of football already.
No, they do a lot. Anytime anybody have a question or ask me, I give them the best answer I can. So it comes from the younger guys to the older guys, and any question they have, I try to answer it best as I can.
Obviously, you talked about the injuries. How frustrating has that been? I mean, you were a high draft pick early, and then, obviously injuries set you back. How frustrating has it been to get back to that status?
It has been frustrating. Last year was my first year. I haven't been injured the whole year, or at all the last past year. So I figure out how to train my body the right way. Comes from, I think, my diet and changing my running style. And I started that last year, and I've been healthy ever since.
Did Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, or the defensive backs coaches tell you that they've long admired your work, been a fan of yours when you signed? Was there something they said that made you feel good that they didn't overlook you?
No, they really didn't tell me anything. I came in for a rookie minicamp and I had to ball out to sign. So I've just been working every day since.
Yeah, what was that like to have to, come to rookie minicamp? I'm sure you haven't been to rookie minicamp since you were a rookie.
Not my first time doing it, but that's an opportunity, so I took advantage of it.
And there aren't a lot of vets in that. Did your agent have to talk the team into allowing you to come, or were they eager as people traded to you?
I think the Dolphins called my agent to ask if I wanted to come. I said, of course.
What was the other opportunity out there? I mean, were you positioning yourself for life without football at that point?
No, I wasn't. No, I was I was confident. Yeah, I was gonna get a job.
Kendall, when you look around that cornerback room, you and Cater have experience. A lot of other guys don't have too much experience. What do you think about that room, its potential, and what you've actually seen on the field?
Man, it's a good group. I think everybody's coming in and locked in and just ready to work, and also ready to lock down whoever we got in front of us.
How has it been? I don't know how many times you've gone against Tyreek and Waddle, but how has that gone, and how have you matched up with them, do you think?
It's been good. Two different type receivers. They're both fast, but two different type receivers, but it's been good, though.
What are some things you're doing right now to
Watching film, of course, staying on top of my diet, doing my stretches and everything to get my body right. I did a plant-based diet. I started that last year. Yeah, so it helped me since. I haven't had an injury since I started it. So I think that's one of my biggest things that helped me. I do. I think after the long days, my body doesn't feel as tired as it used to be. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I try to be. Sometimes I have my cheat days, but I try to be.
So cheat days eating what? So do you?
I still try to stay healthy, like baked chicken, salmon, rice, stuff like that. I don't try to go too crazy with the fried food.
Okay, but not pescatarian.
Nah.
Okay.
All right, guys, they asked him about his injury history. Does he see this as an opportunity to possibly be a starter again in the NFL? And who called who to get him into Dolphins, to sign with the Dolphins? And what did he have to do to sign with the Dolphins? And what does he feel about the cornerback room? What does he feel about Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle? That's basically the questions they asked him. And he said it's an opportunity, and he's going to give it his best shot, basically. He said Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are very fast receivers, but they're very different receivers. Next up, Jalen Phillips speaks with the media.
We're not too surprised that you aren't limited for the start of training camp. What was that journey like to get to this point where I think you're 9 months in?
Right, yeah, approximately. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough at times, more from like a mental standpoint, just coming off back-to-back injuries. Obviously, it's very frustrating, exhausting in a lot of ways. The rehab itself has been, pretty much seamless. I haven't had any issues. Definitely not as hard as the Achilles rehab. So, yeah, I've been feeling great. It's been really good to get back into it with the boys, and it just feels good to be back on the field again. Like,
you saying the ACL is easier than Achilles?
Oh, by far. Yeah, for sure.
Why?
It's just a lot, like with the ACL, you're back to, well, especially with me because I didn't have a meniscus tear, you're back to like normal functional life stuff after like a week or two. So I'm walking around, traveling, doing whatever. The Achilles, I couldn't walk for like 4 months damn near, without the boot at least. So it's just a lot more tedious with the Achilles, and then coming back from it, like you got to imagine your Achilles is taking the brunt of like the whole entire force of your whole entire body. The ACL as well, but from a weight-bearing standpoint, it doesn't really affect you that much. It's more of like getting back into the stability. With me, it was a contact injury, not a non-contact injury, so the stability wasn't an issue. It was just getting the patella back, getting the quad strength back. So it's been a really, simple rehab. Not easy, but simple. And yeah, like I said, just really grateful to be back. Like OTAs was fun, but it was kind of like a tease. Like it was just getting in seven on and stuff, which I was grateful for. But being able to get out there, team reps, knock the dust off, it's a really, really good feeling.
How soon did you feel the quad strength that you're talking about start to come back?
Pretty quickly. I was fortunate to be able to get the quad back pretty quick. But in terms of like actual functional strength and being able to play, not until basically OTAs. Like I felt pretty good at OTAs. Felt like I probably could have done some team reps. But obviously no reason to rush it in OTAs. So I think, the timing all worked out perfectly.
Has the experience changed the way you approach anything? Obviously you don't take any rep for granted, but has it given you a level of appreciation for reps out here in these practices?
I mean, definitely. Anytime you go through something that's hard and you come out the other side of it, you're going to have a different type of appreciation. For me, I'm trying to get back into just like feeling the joy and just the excitement for playing the game. When you're hurt, coming back from injury, like it's hard to just be mindless and just focus on energy, focus on playing when you're dealing with an injury, and when you're, it's coming back, whether it's trust, whether it's the pain, whatever the case is. And so for me, I feel like I'm always at my best when I'm just out there having fun. And so I think that, this camp, I really started to be able to focus more on that. And just bring the energy and play and not worry so much about the the injuries or whatever the case is. So yeah, that's really my focus right now.
I saw you and Bradley doing some sprints off to the side.
Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, that's just like little extra reps. Bradley has been, really critical for me and for everybody in the room and defense of holding us to a really high standard. And so, today took a little less reps. And so to make up for that, we're running sprints on the sideline. So, I think our thing is finding an edge wherever we can, whether that's extra reps in the weight room, extra rehab, extra prehab, or doing things like that. That's something that's really led by Bradley, something I'm very grateful for, of having someone like him to kind of hold me accountable and guide us to do that.
What do you look like you two guys together again?
With
you two guys together again, and then also now chopped up being with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for us all to be able to play at the same time. I don't think all three of us have been on the active roster playing at the same time yet. And if I have, I don't know. But anyways, like playing with Bradley has been some of the most fun times in my career. I feel like when we're on the field, if it's not me, it's him, or both of us, and vice versa. So Being on the field with him is great, but then adding Chop into that equation, like I truly feel like Chop is going to be one of the best players in the league very soon. I think he already is supremely talented, but the more comfortable he gets, the more confident he gets in everything he's doing, I think he's a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So really excited to get on the field with all three of them, or all three of us. So it's going to be great.
Since you kind of jacked my question, I'll expound on that. Just talk about the fact how excited you guys talk about it when you guys are in the field.
We don't really look forward in terms of we really got to stay present, and really the only thing we talk about is holding each other accountable every single day and being there for each other and lifting each other up and making sure that we're holding each other to our standard and that we're bringing that energy and bringing that dog every day. We call ourselves the big dogs for a reason. We got to kind of be the engine for this defense and for this team, and so we can't have off days. We can't have days when we're coming here lackadaisical or low energy, and so I think that's what we're here for, is to bring each other up.
Jaylen, you mentioned the OTAs were kind of a tease for you being back at camp this week. Has it kind of settled in now that you're finally back with the guys?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's definitely exciting. There's nothing like this football environment when it comes to camaraderie. Being in the locker room, being here for 12 hours a day with the guys, it's just really kind of an invaluable experience and something. You have work friends and stuff, but really this experience is pretty unique. And then to be able to translate that to the field and just to feel the conviction that we feel, it's really kind of like an otherworldly experience. It just gets you going in a different type of way. And so that's something that you can't replicate off the field. So, being on the sideline, supporting my guys, that's great. But being on the field with my guys is a completely different ballgame.
Jaylen, is there anything possible that we could do in terms of injury prevention? Anything you've changed in your routine? Obviously, you've had the kind of injuries that could happen to anybody.
Yeah. I think everything is about injury prevention and about recovery. So, for me, I've been incorporating a lot of wellness and recovery things into my routine, and that's something that I'm just hyper focused on. Obviously, I have full faith and full confidence in myself when I'm healthy on that field, and even when I'm not 100% healthy, I'm still going to be able to go out there and dominate. So, for me, it's about staying healthy and about taking care of myself and putting myself in the best position to be able to go out there week after week and perform at the highest ability.
This is such a big year for you, fifth-year option, contract year, having proven you can stay healthy. Do you ever think about that as you go into the season?
I think that's really kind of a fatal error to do in any capacity, in any way, is looking too far forward into the future. And so for me, I'm not thinking about the numbers. I'm not thinking about the contract. I'm thinking about how I show up every day and what I'm doing to be able to come tomorrow, make the corrections I need to make, and dominate in every way that I can each day. So obviously I look forward to the season. I'm aware of the scope of what this year could be for the rest of my life. But at the end of the day, looking forward to that is not going to put me in a position to achieve that. So it's all about just taking it day by day.
Two more. Offense, kind of relying on the outside zone first. You guys having the primary focus is at the edge. How would you evaluate those two things contrasting against each other so far? Your 3 days before.
Say it again.
You guys setting the edge versus an outside zone team. How has that battle been so far?
It definitely challenges our edges. When you have our offense who runs a lot of outside zone, and you have our tight ends and tackles who are pretty much masters at that at this point, being in this scheme for this long, it definitely challenges your footwork, challenges your eyes, challenges your pad level, your hands. So really challenges everything. So it makes us better. And truly, when it gets to the game and you start getting inside zone and gap scheme concepts, it kind of makes it easier in a sense. Not that it's ever easy to play against anybody, but I would say that in terms of for the edge position, our offense really challenges us in a different way.
I noticed in the offseason, you, Quentin, Tua, your girlfriends and wives, your families have gotten a lot closer. Can you just talk about how that's grown and how it's helped you both on and off?
Yeah, I'm so grateful for all of them. In particular, obviously Q being in my position group as well. The bond that we've been able to create, and frankly, when you have so many different personalities, you have so many different people in different phases of their life. It's really a blessing to be able to find somebody who you not only get along with, but also have the same mindset, also want the same things in life, also have, significant others that get along with each other extremely well. So I think when you find that, you really got to nurture it. And so it's honestly been one of the best off seasons. It's probably the best off season in my career, just in terms of my social life and being able to truly, appreciate and enjoy the company that I'm in. So yeah, I feel very blessed.
All right, guys. They basically spoke about what he's doing to recover, how he feels about Chop Robinson, and how excited he is to play with Chop and Bradley Chubb also. and if he's excited about playing with Bradley Chubb and Chop and him being on the field at the same time, and have they spoken about that? Also mainly about his recovery and who's to help him with his recovery. Next is Jonah, the now guard of the Miami Dolphins, or it seems like he's going to play guard for the Miami Dolphins instead of tackle.
What have those battles been like between you and KG, and how cool is it that your careers are kind of intertwined at this point?
Man, it's awesome, just knowing that KG, same draft class as I, and just being out there on the field with him, I don't take that lightly, going against a person like him, because he's trying to get better, so he's expecting like 100%, 110% from me, so every time I get to go against him, I'm making sure I'm bringing my all, just so we can both get better and get ready for the season in the training camp.
Patrick Paul told us that you guys were up here working a lot in the off season. What was the purpose of that? What was the thinking behind that?
I mean, obviously, we're, kind of. I'm my rookie year, and he's his second year here. So my mindset was, no vacation for me until this is all over. So I wanted to stay here, get acclimated to this weather, because everyone's been saying it's only going to get hotter. So I got to stay here. And having Pat, here all summer, we got to build that chemistry, especially, I'm playing next to him. So just building chemistry, not only on the field, but off the field, just being able to trust each other, when
You
we're on.
guys have a competition to see who can get here first and leave last.
Is it?
I don't know if you're aware of that, but who do you think's winning the competition?
Well, if it's a competition, KG is not even close to me, so I don't see him around when I'm here. So yeah.
Jonah, there's a message on your shirt. What's it mean to you? Miami different.
It's up top.
Miami different. We're different. This is, especially me as a rookie coming in here. We're trying to build something, a culture here, a family-oriented environment. And the closer we are, the more connected we are. The more better we play. Just knowing that we have each other's trust on that field.
Speaking of different, what's been the biggest difference for you being the big man on campus and now being a rookie and getting acclimated to all that?
Man, I've never looked at it as big man on campus. I've always been that humble guy on the campus, just being level-headed, and just being a rookie here. Just like I said before when I first got here, just being able to soak every information that I can use to my advantage, and just going out there and compete, and just making sure the guys can count on me while I'm on the field.
Jonah, how anxious were those days after the rookies reported and until you got your contract done, waiting for that to get done and looking at the start of practice coming up?
The mindset was always, control what I can control. I have a team that handle that for me. So shout out to my agent, getting that handle. But for me, my mind was always here. I was with the team, and I'm glad that's behind me now. All my focus is being here with the guys.
Jonah, we hear all the time that the emphasis is to run off the football on the offensive line. How do you balance playing fast with drilling your technique and being on point with that stuff?
There's no stopping. There's no slowing down. There's no going lateral. Our mindset is fast off the ball. We're always going on angles or vertical. There's no going lateral for us. So being able to balance that, it's always it's in a mental game too. Always gotta expect some type of what they're bringing, but. Our standard is running off the ball, and bottom line.
Is your target weight for this regular season a bit lower than it was in the last season in college?
No, I'm where I'm at. I'm where I want to be, especially being in Miami. And like I said, this weather, I want to be able to be in 320, 319, so I can move consistently, fast every day. So being 330, that's not really necessary for me. I want to be slim and just being able to build strength here.
What's your experience or comfort level left guard versus right
guard? It's a slowly progress. Like Coach Butch said, he rather sees me, respond to adversity. So there are adversities on the field, and my biggest challenge is can I respond back to it? So just being able to, I got veterans in this room, Liam that had played 5 positions. We got guys like Dan that just got in. AJ played also left guard as well his first year. And then AJ, all those guys, just taking notes from them, they just made it easy when I'm out there. So
for those of us who haven't played O-line, what's that shift like? To move to the other side.
What does that feel like?
Yeah, watching TV, you think it's easy just going from right to left, but when you actually, get in that left stagger and you haven't been in that stagger for in your whole time, your whole life, so it's a big difference, especially for myself, just being able to, like I said, pushing off of my right leg, and it's something I worked on this off season, just personal stuff, just being able to get my hip mobility better. So.
Coach McDaniel indicated that the veterans believe in you. What does that mean to hear, and how are you going about earning that trust?
I take that to heart because, I come in with, I hold myself to a higher standard every time I touch this facility or enter this facility. You got guys here that wants to win, that has been here more than myself. So obviously I'm here, I'm playing for something bigger than myself. So I'm not only playing for myself and my family, but also for the guys next to me that has been here and that wants the Super Bowl here. So that's my mentality, and the standard, keeps getting higher.
James Daniel seems to be a good veteran to have.
Yes.
The ropes. What's the biggest thing you've learned from him?
He has good anchor in the pass, especially for a guy like him. He has long arms, and just being able to, I always get advice from him, what are his aiming points, where are his eyes at when he's pass setting. So like conversations like that, and in the room, like going back to what I've said, just being able to, pick his brain, how does he take notes, what does he do for recovery and stuff and all that, and yeah.
John, obviously, second round pick, the Dolphins thought highly of you. When you found out they traded up to get you, was it more of an honor? Did that make a difference at all to you?
Yes, that's, I like I said, I don't take that really lightly. That's an opportunity for me to come here and get better. And just hearing that news that they traded up, it means a lot to me. Just telling me that they aim for a specific person, and obviously I'm not going to come here and just be comfortable. I don't ever want to be comfortable around here. So I'm glad that that's behind me once again. I'm here, just ready for training camp.
What have your conversations with Tua been like since coming here?
Oh man, that's the older bro. Tua is like an older bro of mine. Right when we connected, it felt like we knew each other for a long time. And I've been hanging out at his house, over the break, just having our jam sessions. He's got a voice. I don't know if he's got a voice. He can play every instrument, so it's been good. Yeah, it's been great.
Did you ever tell him that? I remember, I think you told us when you first got drafted that he came to a camp of yours, and that was like a big moment for you as a kid. Did you tell him about that experience?
I don't remember what camp I probably mentioned, but I did see him on campus at a school. I don't know what he had at St. Louis. I think I was a sophomore or junior. I seen him. And then I didn't want to approach him, I just be like, I'm good. I don't want to bother him.
So what's his best instrument?
Guitar. Yeah, guitar, ukulele. If he plays guitar, he plays bass as well. So.
What do you do during the jam sessions?
Piano. He has a piano there as well, so I'm a piano guy. I can play guitar as well, but piano's my main instrument.
You took lessons or self-taught?
So my dad had a coworker growing up. They worked at an airport. I really wasn't a guy into reading sheets. I was always played off of ear. So just growing.
All right, guys. They basically asked him what about changing from right to left guard. What is he doing? Is he going to stay at the same weight he is currently at? What he's learned from James Daniels, and what they asked him about too, and he said it's big bro. What does Miami different mean, or the Miami different that's on the white shirt during the interview? And he said it's about culture and building culture in Miami, and he was never worried about a contract holdout. So he says, and that's basically what he said. Again, guys, like always, leave comments down below what you think about day 3 of training camp with the Miami Dolphins. Like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins.